What's the sentiment like as far as FIs are concerned for emerging market as a whole and India in particular? Somebody who really understands that very well and caters to some of the biggest funds in Europe, Ayon Mukhopadhyay, my friend from London, is here. Of course, he's working for IIFL India Infoline, based out of London. Ayon, good morning there in London. How are things on the COVID-19 front? Locked up at home like everybody else?
Yes, good afternoon, Ajay. Good to hear from you and hope you and your family are safe. Yes, as you have been probably following the news, the issue is getting quite diabolical in London. The cases are increasing every day. The city is in a complete lockdown right now. Everyone is working from home. The police is patrolling the street, and you obviously heard the news that both the Prime Minister and the Crown Prince are affected by the disease. So it is pretty somber, the mood here right now, and the hope is that the testing kits will be available very soon for the general public, so people actually know what is the actual number. But coming to your points earlier in investing, the investing mood is equally downbeat, I would say, towards the emerging markets and towards India. And yes, you're right in saying that the FII selling has been pretty strong, and there's no real short answer to this, and I expect the FII selling to continue till we are having more clarity on exactly where we are heading with this COVID issue.
Ayon, how are your conversations going with some of the funds based in your region who look at emerging markets or have exposure there? The kind of selling which we are seeing in emerging markets, and we are also on the receiving end because of that, we've not seen in a long time. At least I have not seen in 15 years of covering markets. What's the panic like there?
Ajay, you're right. You've not seen it in the last 15 years, because in the last 50 years or so, we have not really seen a crisis of this sort. Like, this is not a banking crisis. This is not a crisis which is done, because of mispricing of assets or loose central banking policies. It is not that. What we are facing right now is a humanitarian crisis across the globe. And when we face a humanitarian crisis, our primal instincts take over. So the first instinct right now is the protection of life and protection. That is the humanitarian aspect of it. So the question here is that we do not know what will be the response of the governments. Most governments have taken a cautious path, having learned from I will not use the word mistake, but having seen what has been the catastrophic experiences in some European countries, a total lockdown. But the question here is now that how much can the world go on this lockdown, and what would be the effects of it? Are we talking about a recession that would last a couple of quarters, or could it be a complete global shutdown which would plunge us into a depression that could take years and years to come out of? So till the clarity of that emerges, I think the panic selling that we are seeing right now will continue. And there will be extreme volatility that we are seeing in markets, that we have a week where the indexes fall 20%, the next week the indexes recover 15%. So yes, but the general view is that we had the fall that we have had, we might be nearing the sort of a bottom formation. It's very dangerous to say that, but it's no way that a bottom formation means that you would see a recovery, a V-shaped recovery. I think the consensus is more changing now that it will be a U-shaped recovery, and we do not know how long would be we would be at the bottom of the U.
Right. All right, Ayon, we'll let you go on that one. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today.